I don't know why the tracer goes up. I mean, the first thing is clear, like you shouldn't be typing. Try to limit the amount of typing that actually happens during game.
I would've stayed up there, because your team is wildly out of position right there.
Yeah, so staying on high ground, so let's back this up real quick.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
So this is a great spot to be starting on high ground. Really like the positioning to be here, it's just we give it up right away. So with the high ground, if there's any type of danger, so let's say that there's a widow standing up here, or a soldier that comes up here, and we get pressured, we can just duck back behind cover, or fall even further back around the edge of the building, and then they won't be able to see us, and they'll be able to shoot us, and we can stay safe. But if we're just standing out in the open here, if they come in from the top and they start shooting down at us, we've got nowhere to go, right? We have to run all the way back around, and then by that time, they've had line of sight on us too long, and we're probably going to die. So you always want to be really, really, really close to a spot where you can safely escape or get out of the line of sight from danger, and that's going to be like these lines of sights right now.
I mean, like, also as Junkrat, you don't have to peek. You can just peek every once in a while to see where they are and spam over the wall if you know the trajectory.
Yeah. You don't even need the line of sight necessarily like other people do. So give that up right away. I do like the throwing down a trap when getting dove and getting out, because like we see he falls into the trap.
And
So that's actually pretty good trap placement.
Look, don't be worried about the Winston, right? Because there was a Mercy on you. You actually can't die to a Winston while the Mercy's targeting you.
Yeah, so what we're seeing now is something that happens a lot at lower, the lower you are, the more people do this, which is you see a big group of people in front of you, so your natural reaction is to walk at it, which isn't necessary and is actually putting you in a lot more danger. So you can safely spam from somewhere back here, right? And there's no damage fall off with Junkrat either. Like if the grenades hit, the grenades hit. So you could spam this group safely from the back, but instead people just see enemies directly ahead of them, and they just think, that's where I need to be, that's where I need to go, and they just run at that. And you really, really should fight that instinct and not just run forward into the group of them, and we're gonna see you get punished for it here in a second.
Also, yeah, right here, you could have shot one mine at Mercy, right? I mean, shot one grenade at Mercy, and then thrown a mine, it would have been an instant kill.
Yeah. The other thing in general to talk about, and we'll touch on this more as we go through the video, but is crosshair placement. You could say it's less important with Junkrat, but it still would help you out immensely. So if we look, I'm going to try to pause it at the right moment. So this is where our crosshair placement is most of the time. We are staring straight down at the ground. We really need to move this crosshair up, and we basically always want to keep it at more or less like neck level with the enemies, right? So we need to be staring, looking up where we can actually see them, not staring at our own feet or at their feet. We'll get into that more later when we talk about like McCree aim and whatnot.
I'm still kicking.
So you're coming up on your tire, right? Okay, typing here is bad. I'm sure you
Typing is bad. Typing is bad. People are dying. People are dying. You could be fighting, and instead you're typing. Should have just stopped typing. Gonna skip ahead.
Yeah,
I
I know
Still
Overwatch
typing.
is a frustrating game, but it's not gonna make you want to type.
Oh, just
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay, so this is a good safe place to spam from. This is nice. This is like a great place where you can fall back if you need. Alright, so we actually have the awareness now in a moment. Yeah, we throw this trap down thinking, hey, I get dove. And this is a really good trap placement, right? That's great.
I believe you tire in a second.
Yeah.
You tired
So,
there.
hold on. Yeah, so wait, so right here we can see that this is where the payload's at. Which means this is probably where the enemy is probably going to be. In fact, we can see people shooting at the enemy. We can see your McCree has died here. And this is general awareness. And instead, I think you think that there's still this direction. And you kind of toss your tire down and around. And it gets picked off, I believe. No, you get the Brigitte. It's like a really long way to get it. This is again. So this is alright. So first, we're not actually shooting at anything here. There's no one here to shoot at. But we see the diva right here, and we think I want to hit them. And maybe it's because it's way easier to hit them at close range, but you just run right at her, which is not what you want to do. There's no damage fallout, so you want to be playing in your effective range, which your effective range is basically as far as you can actually manage to lob the grenades. So there's no reason to go down, get face to face with her and die when you could be playing back at a distance. Okay, go forward. Mine up. Know how to mine jump, so that's good. Kind of just lob some nades, it's all good. Here again, we're just getting far too far forward, running into the enemy instead of starting from a safe back position.
Alright, so there. You should have had help with that, Winston. Like, your team should have been helping you guys. Because the Winston was on your Mercy, and you can't actually kill the Winston before he kills your Mercy.
Yeah, that's not on you.
And you're rip-tiring in really vulnerable places. Like, you rip-tired in that window, and you got shot a couple times by the McCree. If that was a better McCree, he would have just double headshot you.
Yeah, you want to be in a safe spot when you rip tire, as well as try to. If you aren't aware, you can drive rip tires up walls. So, and you can, when you drive a rip tire, instead of driving in a straight line where it's very easy for people to hit it, you kind of want to drive in like an 80-80 kind of fashion in order to make it a little harder to hit. You know, don't go one line, kind of zigzag it, go back and forth, and then and get to your target. Maybe drive it up some walls and zigzag it down and hit people. Be a little less predictable. It's going to help it from getting destroyed. At the higher levels, people can actually hit it.
Also, okay, your movement needs work, because there you were like standing still. You didn't get punished for it because, well, I mean, at this level you're just not going to. But once you climb up into the ranks, somebody's just gonna kill you while you stand there. Try to move around, like crouch occasionally. Don't jump though; it makes you super predictable.
Don't jump. Not unless you really need to jump onto something. Other than that, don't jump. But yeah, you definitely don't want to stand perfectly still in Overwatch. It makes you far too easy to hit. You definitely want to always be moving a little bit. All those shots were taken from a perfectly standstill position. Actually hit the tire here.
That was actually nice.
It was actually good. We hit the tire there. It's nice. And then nobody got on cart. Which there are many people around here. This is bronze and it's quick play, so people probably just didn't care that much. But the awareness to get on cart, wasn't there. You'd be saying, "Oh, it's getting close, it's getting close," which we'll get into some more general awareness stuff later. Let's skip. I believe you then move on to playing McCree. So
McCree's gonna be a more interesting one to review because I actually have a lot of hours in McCree.
So again, we can just kind of see crosshair placement. You can see Arisa's head and chest are here. and our crosshair is looking at her
I mean,
feet.
I get you would be aiming at probably her stomach if you were on the same height level as her.
Yeah, or yeah, at least here. But like, even then, like if you're walking up steps, like you should still be looking at chest level. So we'll
Yeah.
see. So you,
And
we'll
like,
we'll point it out at some later spots as well. So
alright, wait.
talk about fan the hammer.
Don't fan the hammer. Like, maybe after flashbang you can fan the hammer, but like, don't fan the hammer on things that, well, maybe on tanks, right? You can fan the hammer.
So
But that was a
basically,
Moira.
unless you are right next to someone, like I mean, we're talking like physically standing with no space between the two of you. That don't fan the hammer, right?
Left click
You
is
need
better.
to be less than a foot between the two of you in order to actually shoot or fan the hammer.
And right here, this isn't a fight you're gonna win, so you should roll back and you can go into spawn and be invincible for a second, then come back out.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
so
you
which he
do
does,
that.
which is great. So he gets out. He doesn't take on a fight that's not winnable,
Yeah.
which is good.
But,
So
yeah, okay, that's fine.
let's start. So if we look, aim is at her feet, right? When really we should be placing our crosshair when we walk around. Our crosshair should be here.
I mean, and that diva should have flown up as soon as the Mercy got flashbang. She had time to fly up and defense matrix it. That was the diva fucking letting the Mercy die because she walked away.
Mhm. There, just missed some shots, which is fine. It's gonna happen. That is way too far away to fan the hammer.
Yeah, you get hits with it, but you were more than 5 meters away, so it actually doesn't do as much damage as it normally would.
Yep.
I don't think that the Torb knows that he can upgrade his turret, because it seems like he's using level 1 turret for entire game.
Hiding behind the payload is good. You can also crouch. I don't ever see you crouch. I don't know if you know that you can do that, but crouching behind the payload when you're hiding behind it would definitely help you out. So I think the last death was just general not awareness of where you were getting shot from. So this Moira fades off to your right. You're safely behind a shield, right? You have an Orisa, you have somebody that's healing you, you have the cart for healing as well. But you just kind of don't shoot at her. Like you saw her fade, right? We see her fade right here. So we know she's here and we know we're dying, but we don't do anything about it. We just kind of take the damage and just die. She's killing us, she's killing us, she's killing us. And we don't shoot at anything, we don't try to kill her, we just kind of die from it.
You could have rolled into Moira and flashbang fan the hammer, it probably would have worked. And that would get you further away from the rest of the team, which was gonna shoot you. That's good, getting some shots into it all started
Yep.
fine.
Yep, it's good stuff. Everybody else is dying, no reason to head, forward and die too. You can just stay back and wait for your tanks. Always play behind your tanks,
And
right?
they
Play
have-
around your tanks.
They have a Widowmaker. Standing spawn like that, she probably won't be in a position to shoot you, but it would be pretty bad if she was, because it would set you back and your team back about 15 seconds with the payload right there. Big Winston should not be doing that.
No, you should not. But again, we're just kind of standing still shooting. Later ranks, standing perfectly still like this is going to get you killed.
And okay, McCree at that range, he's gonna do like a fifth of the
No
damage he
damage.
normally does.
So let's back this up again because we're going to point this out in seconds. So staring at her feet, let's look at the shot. Look at these shots, they're right at her feet. Each one of them right at her feet. And if you were just looking up at her chest, you would hit so many more shots. And you would have to move a lot less in order to hit headshots. Definitely need to be looking up.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
Too far away to fend the hammer.
Alright, wait, pause.
Yep.
Don't do that. Like, there's a diva right there, and diva really counters your ult, because even if she doesn't defense matrix and she's just standing in front of you, her D-Mech mech will eat all the bullets from your ult anyway. So, Yeah. And the better diva would have pressed E and just rocketed you to death, probably.
Yep. Just wait for D.Va to be out of mech before you ult.
Yeah. McCree's ult is kind of bad, but like it's usable in certain situations. I don't know why you just transcendence.
Enemy turret ahead. Clear attack.
Don't go in here.
I don't know why you're going this far forward. The payload is still way back, but your team
Yeah.
is fighting on cart, and now you're running into their team. You're just asking to die at this moment. Yeah, and you get totally punished for it. I mean, that's just lack of awareness of where your team.
If
That's
you
just
were-
lack of awareness of where your team and where your card is.
If you
Here's
were
your
playing
card.
closer, that would have been fine, but you're playing
Yeah.
McCree, he only has roll, and he doesn't have any
Yeah.
self-sustain.
This is closer to their spawn, right? Think of your team as your bodyguards and your protection, right? They're there to stand in front of you and take damage for you. They're there to heal you, right? And if you go closer to where the enemies are coming from alone, all you're doing is putting yourself in unsafe positions, right? You always want to be putting yourself in the safest positions.
Also, this is a very hard match for McCree. They have a Torbjorn,
Let's
they
start
have
over at the
a
beginning.
Winston, and they have a Diva. So, it makes it really hard to survive.
Which is why you definitely need to be around your healers and your tanks so that they can help you.
Yeah.
Being off on your own is going to get you punished.
Luckily for McCree players, people stop playing Symmetra and Orb and Bastion because, well, Symmetra's easy for McCree. But, like,
So
okay.
So here, just lack of awareness of where the health pack is. We could have gotten this and got another 200 HP and kept on fighting this Moira. And instead, we fan the hammer out of effective range. We let her get the health back and then we just die. That's just lack of sense of where you are and where health packs are.
Seen the light.
Enemy turret ahead.
So again, we're staring at this monkey's feet. We're fanning the hammer out of range.
Enemy turret down.
McCree's Spin the Hammer has like a very slight recoil. You don't really have to adjust for it, in case that's what you do.
So we stare directly down at the ground again whenever we throw our stun, which is not necessary.
When you try to stun a Genji and he's right next to you, you can stun the ground because you can't deflect him. But other than that,
Alright, we stare at our feet. It's just not necessary.
actually, there, flashbanging your feet probably was the more safe option because sometimes flashbang does screw people.
That's the safer option. But the shots are also going at our feet. You need to either, it needs to be very quick if you're going to do that. It needs to be flick down to throw the stun and immediately back up. This is a total waste of trance. No idea what happened there. Maybe fat fingered. Maybe it's just bronze. I don't know.
And bronze is a painful rank to get out of, but you can carry out of it. You're never gonna
But you
get
can
teammates.
most certainly carry out of it. You can
You're
definitely.
never gonna get good teammates in bronze. But yeah, you can probably 1v6 if you can do really well.
So again, and we stare right at our feet.
I mean, if you had
We're
waited,
yeah,
if you
weren't
waited
aware of
20
how much
seconds,
ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we again just lack of
Also,
awareness of the
right there,
game. You just
they both died anyway,
Thought I
but
wasn't
they were
gone.
frozen. The turret doesn't do enough damage that it would have killed you. You could flick them in the head.
yeah. Just multiple times just having a lack of awareness of things in the game. You need to be able to know how much ammo you have, where they're at, where your card is at, like all different kinds of things.
Now here, this is a good position for all. I would demech Diva and then pop my ultimate.
Yep. I don't know why we stopped shooting at the Mercy. The Mercy is the best person in the game you could be shooting at, and we just don't shoot at her. We're also not using our ultimate here. We have people on the screen in front of us. We don't see the Diva. Would have been a great time to ult. They're still in front of us. We're just not even shooting anything. Right now, you're in a safe position, but you're out of range, right? People down here, they're really hard to hit, and if you do hit them, you're not really going to be close enough to be doing a lot of damage. So we do need to be moving forward. We could be moving here,
I mean,
right? You could win the high ground battle, and then you could stand above here and shoot down. A lot of safe positions as well that actually puts you close enough. You need to know every hero's effective range, where they do their best effective damage, where they can be safe but still do good damage. And McCree's, this is out of his right now. If you're shooting these people,
I mean, and that Widowmaker up there, right? She has walls up, I know that, but she can't actually see you. She's scoped in, standing still, so you could probably shoot her in the head. She unscoped and ran away. Let's see. Oh, she ran to your spawn.
yeah, staring at her feet.
And there's a little bit of a delay between when you flashbang and fan the hammer.
You can do it almost immediately.
Yeah.
Waiting a while.
I mean, it doesn't really make a difference if you do fan the hammer at their feet, but just know that if they move, it's gonna miss every shot because their feet move a lot.
Yeah, this breaking the shield is fine. Fanning the hammer from that distance is useless.
Yeah, don't go back here.
So don't go back here. Also, I mean, there was no reason to reload there. We started reloading. I guess we're going for like a crazy flank here with our ults. This just got us killed. I had a lot of good opportunities to use our ult safely, and instead you went into an unsafe position to try to get, I guess, some hero play from behind them that just gets you killed.
Anything we say, it's not. We're not being toxic. We're just like we're telling you
No.
how you can do better.
Find shots, back up, realize that's unsafe, that's good. Don't want to be in an unsafe spot.
I'm also.
So
noticing-
that Venomine was on your screen for like 3 seconds. Like 3 full seconds that Venomine was on our screen that we just didn't see it. That's just, again, just talking about just general lack of awareness of, you know, what's on the screen around you. Here, we're being killed for how long? Look at this. How long are we being killed by someone? And we just stare forward. There's no enemies on our screen. And we're dying, and we just don't even look around us. We don't even try to look behind us. You never once even attempt to look at that Moira, let alone shoot at her.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I think your aim is bronze. I think that your aim could be silver or gold. But
If you stop looking at people's feet, it could
Yes,
be. It could
yes.
be if you stopped looking at their feet.
but like
But your awareness is just you're dying from things and you're just not even looking at them.
luckily that's easy to fix. Like when you see red on your screen, look over there, basically.
Yeah. And get away from the Rhine that's ulting, that's fine, but then instead of going to kill him or turning around and looking at the Moira that's killing us, we just walk forward. It's like we have a plan in mind that we want to go somewhere, and even if we're dying or there's enemies behind us, we just go and we don't even think about them or look at them or react to them. Right?
Your Orisa seems to want to die to me. She's a main tank. She's a very front-lining tank, and she goes on a flank route. And
Alright, we see these two ults right in front of us
we're
at a
entering
minute
ulting.
minute 17, or not ult, sorry, ult, ability. This is an ult, this is an ability, sorry. And we roll and we just turn and we just walk away from it and take it in the back when we could have just flashbanged her out of her ultimate.
I
And
think you were probably looking for the move to heal you, which she should have done, but she didn't. You can't really rely on them.
no.
60 seconds remaining.
This would have been good at the beginning, but now the card is very far away. It's gonna be hard to set up.
Yeah, it's gonna be very sad.
This is a very
I don't
bad
really see
position.
anything. Yeah, I don't really see anything. We would be right behind the shield. We're kind of out in the open against a Widow. Widows can actually just kill Bastions pretty easily. We get lucky that the Junkrat takes her out for us. Breaking their shield, shooting the Orisa, that's good.
Yeah.
This is too far back though. This is...
I mean, if you would have shield break, it's fine. But if you were if you were right next to the shield, you would have melted that Orisa instantly.
Remember, there's a good amount of spread on Bastion's gun. Here we just miss our shots. We could have killed him. We just missed our shots, and that's gonna happen. It's fine. We were in a fine spot. We just, we just didn't hit our shots, and that's okay. So I think the biggest things is, go into the training range, go into deathmatch, and just spend a couple hours forcing yourself, walk around the training range and just stop at points and ask yourself, are you about neck height? And if you're not looking neck height, if you're looking at their feet, or just go in and shoot the training bots, shoot Ana bots, shoot whatever you want to do, and just always force yourself to be at neck level, never looking at their feet, making sure that as you're walking around, just in general, as you're walking around a map, if you're walking up steps or wherever you're going, that you're not letting your crosshair drag down and look down here, right? You don't want to be looking at this. You don't want to be staring at your feet. You want to be staring up here the whole time. Doing that is going to be huge, as well as learning every hero's effective range, right? So a Junkrat is basically, he has no damage fall off. He is effective as far away as you can actually manage to lob them in, since they come in on like a, projectile arc. And McCree, right? His is what, like 10 meters is a good effective range for him?
Well, no, his effective range is 23 meters.
Oh, okay, up to 23 meters, right? So.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you know the distance, know that McCree is not somebody you want to be directly up in their face, because he doesn't have good movement abilities. He's great on high ground where you can hug a corner, right? If you're at a corner or on high ground, you can safely retreat backwards, right? And if they're below you and you fall backwards, they can't see you anymore. Or even better, if you're near a corner and you can just duck around a corner safely and get out and take that line of sight away. Then that's also going to be really good and really helpful.